Welcome to Foundation for Climate Restoration. We meet every week at this time, and today we have a very special guest. I think you all know about that. And this is the third time that we've got to work with Gordon Starr. We're really thrilled about getting to do this work with you, Gordon.
Thank you.
And you bring a special quality and really special experiences to us when you show up on these calls. I want to just deliver for each and for all of us here our intention for these community calls. And our intention is that each and every call sparks for each and every one of us new thinking, new enthusiasm, and new openings for shifting the global mindset. We also like to start our meetings with grounding ourselves again in the vision and the mission of the Foundation for Climate Restoration. So our vision is the climate restored for the flourishing of all life. Our mission is the climate restored by 2050, and to have a global alignment for restoring the climate, and have global alignment for climate restoration by 2030. So that's a big deal. Our goal is to have global alignment by 2030. So, and what we mean by climate restoration, we mean restoring the climate to one that humans have evolved and thrived in. And we're measuring that at having CO2 levels below 300 parts per million.
All of you have been invited to be with Gordon Starr. He is a master in the arena. He's dedicated his life to the distinctions of transformation. And I'm going to turn it right over to you, Gordon.
What I want to start with is taking a look. We're going to connect, everybody here connect with each other. And I'd like to get present resignation. That's where we want to start out. So this is about unleashing one's superpower. But we're going to start with resignation. So, Julia, would you read the background on resignation, please?
For those of us who follow what's happening on the news related to climate change, it is a colossal issue with global weather-related crises continuously headlining the news, day in and day out. Although it's clear that we humans are the source of our climate crisis, how can little old me make any difference with corporate giants whose profits depend on the very products that exacerbate the problem, let alone make a difference with our government? All of this inevitably produces an inexorable pull toward resignation and hopelessness, which of course adds mass to the unworkability that we're resigned about. So in the face of all this, this session is designed for you to discover or rediscover your superpower and how to unleash it when you are facing overwhelming odds.
So I don't know whether any of you have watched Supergirl. I was in the movies a couple of weeks ago. I saw the trailer, right? So I wasn't paying much attention. I looked up and there's this young, attractive Supergirl, and she's on some foreign planet, and all of these massive goons with clubs and chains start moving in toward her. And she says, "Oh, this doesn't look good for them." Right? So that's the unleashing of superpower. So, but we want to start with, so the purpose of our session today is for you personally, you to discover your superpower and unleash it in service of ending the climate crisis in time, unleash it in service of taking some territory in that possibility happening. So for you to discover your superpower and unleash it effectively and get the secret on how you unleash it. But we want to start with the goons, right? So resignation, and have everybody here connect with each other as participants in this session. So, Julia, would you please read the question? We're going to go into what I call small group inquiry, breakout rooms you're familiar with, and you'll have about 2 minutes each. Julia, would you please read?
Yeah. So who are you? Your name. Where are you? Where you're calling in from? And what is one important thing or two necessary to ending the climate crisis that you're resigned about? It won't happen, and there is nothing I can do about it. So I'll read that part again. What's one important thing or two things necessary to ending the climate crisis that you're resigned about? It won't happen, and there is nothing I can do about it.
So here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to find out from some people, do a dialogue with me. What has, and I'm going to ask you some questions about it. What are you resigned about? Like it was perfect. Yeah. What are you resigned about? What do you see there?
This is Harvey. You
Yeah,
wanna play?
Harvey. Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. But by the
Uh,
way, I'm going to have, rather than raise your hand, I'm just going to have you jump in like Harvey did. Go ahead, Harvey.
Okay. I'm 90 years old. I've done everything I really want to do. I want to be a part of this, but I don't want to do anything. I don't want to take any responsibility. That's what I'm resigned to.
Brilliant. Thank you. Who else?
I have to echo that exactly. There was
Say
nothing.
say your name, please.
I'm Christina Chambreau, and I'm 76, and I am not resigned to anything. I know that I can do something about every problem that's out there, and I run out of energy. I feel like I'm too tired. I have like that. So it's absolutely
Beautiful.
that's what I'm resigned about.
I'm
Perfect.
resigned
Thank
to
you.
the. I'm sorry.
Who is it? So when you speak, if you would, so I can know who's speaking, what's your name and what are you resigned about?
This is Dennis Scherzer,
Yeah.
and I'm resigned to the fact that the biggest challenge here is personal entropy, things that need to be done, and as far as things that can't happen or challenges that are too great, I don't
Yes.
see any. So to me, it's just a matter of discipline and work and overcoming the entropy and getting other people energized behind it.
So
I'm
can
with
you
Dennis.
say one thing, Dennis? When you say entropy, what is that? What do you mean by that?
That's like, putting off of tomorrow what you can do today, or here's this thing
Perfect.
that
Yeah.
you're not applying yourself to that you could get it done if you got on it. And it's a matter of discipline, kicking your own ass to get in there and do it.
That's great. That's really great.
This is,
Thank you.
this
So
is,
I'm
Diane
not
Morrison.
resigned about.
This hand
I-
working.
Ray, go ahead.
Ray Sunby. I live in Milpitas, California, in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
I'm not resigned about anything. I'm optimistic. I'm active with Eddy Carbon Research and working with a group on clean energy. And I think we can get everything we need. We have the technology. We have people that are willing and knowledgeable. So I'm optimistic and not resigned.
Okay, great. And I would offer simply this one question. Possibly, I mean, possibly there may be some resignation lurking in there that you can't yet see. And if you can discover it, that could be a great opening. Yeah, just as a suggestion. I'm not saying it's true. It may be not true at all. But go ahead, Diane. But thank you. I got it totally.
I'm Diane Morrison, and I'm on the board of Foundation for Climate Restoration, and I've been talking with a lot of people about it. And I talked to someone who I have a close relationship with. He was a client of mine for years before I retired, and he was really into it when I talked with him about it. And then he went out and started talking to people in his life, and he talked to this one powerhouse person who said, "There's no climate issue," and he believed him, and it stopped
yeah.
him. It stopped him totally.
Great. And Diane, what about you personally? What are you resigned about?
But I'm resigned about that. There are people out there that are saying this is not an issue.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. And let me just ask you one other question with respect to that. What do you see as your ability to affect that?
To not get stopped by it and keep
You know, are you
interacting.
are you resigned about? So there's two parts. Are resigned that that's got to shift, and are you resigned about your ability to make any difference with it?
Uh, I think what I'm resigned about making the difference with somebody like the person who said that person in his life
Yes,
is saying there's no issue, like getting it over to those people.
exactly. Okay, great.
Gordon,
So you can.
Well-
I'm sorry.
we have two people with their hands up also. Just wanted to let
Yeah.
you know.
Great,
Up
thanks.
at the top. Yeah. Mhm.
So here's what the next question is. I want to do it very quickly. Then I want to flip to the next part. What's the, and I'll, if I can just interact with you, Diane, what's the impact on you? That's a situation that's got to be turned around. I think it's hopeless to turn it around, and I can't make any difference with people like that anyhow.
Yeah, so talking to people who don't have that issue is what I've been doing. and
Yes.
and
Yeah,
I'm
go,
not
keep,
stopped.
go.
Yeah, and I'm not
Yeah.
stopped in that arena. You know, I'm responsible in terms of on the board for fundraising. So I talk to
Yeah.
people all the time about
Yeah.
pledging and donating and that. But just
Yeah.
I want to get through to these other people that are listening out there to those that are saying, "Oh, this is not an issue." I want to,
Yeah.
and this is opening up for me on this call, which is great.
Yeah. And you don't invite those other people over for dinner very often, do you?
No.
And if we're going to end the climate crisis on time, who has to be on board?
Yeah, we got to get
All those people,
in
right?
there. We got to get in there.
Yeah. So here's what I want. This is the whole point of this. Why talk about resignation? Well, resignation, there are two ways we can relate to resignation. If we're not straight about it and authentic about it, it affects all of us. I promise you, it's there working in the background. It runs us around like a puppet. And a couple of the people shared at the beginning, well, it has me sitting on the background waiting for somebody else to do something about it. Okay, a big difference that's going to make, but it's safe. It's safe and it's there. Telling the truth about our resignation, hey, all of a sudden there's a shift. Rather than the resignation having us, the resignation having me, I have the resignation.
Mm-hmm.
And when I have the resignation, I can choose.
Yeah.
I can choose, oh, maybe, and this is where our next piece is, I can choose. And do I choose to give agency to my resignation or unleash my superpower? What do you think? So here's what I want you to get about resignation. Resignation ain't bad. You're a human being. And if you don't have resignation, then you can give up your human being card. Embrace it, love it, run it up a flagpole, and then choose. Am I going to do this or am I going to do that? And it's nice and safe and comfy in the resignation area. But we're going to take a look at unleashing your superpower. So the next question I have, and by the way, I apologize. I know some of you had your hands up, but there'll be more opportunity to engage here. So this is about discovering your superpower. So I'd like to start looking at some examples that you see of people, groups of people, single people, and they generated something. They created something that looked impossible. It was not predictable at all, predictable, including yourself, by the way. When something came about, wow, look at that. Who is that? How did they do that?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to get some of that example rich, and then I'll ask the question, what was common about them, right? But let's get some examples first. Don't start looking for their superpower. That's the answer part. We'll do that in a few minutes.
Gordon, I can say one thing that's amazed me is the popularity of the World Cup being here in the U.S. I don't know who exactly it was that had that vision that we could have a super World Cup attendance and people watching TV and selling things on TV, but I think it
huge
blew out everybody's expectation of what was possible.
Exactly. I don't know the person, but there had to be some there somewhere. So, but that perfect example, and other examples, but see if you can identify the person or the group of people specifically.
Lynn Twist.
Yeah.
Massive fundraiser for the Hunger Project for decades. And then she and her husband and others created Pachamama. Huge, huge things she's done.
Okay, great. Who else?
Well, I don't know the guy's name, but some guy at an Oaklandese game was the first one who started the wave. And he was just incessant. He went over and screamed to a section and went, okay, everybody do this. And then they would shout to the next session, and then you do it. And they didn't. And he said, okay, now everybody do this. Okay, next session, you do the wave. And finally, they started doing that. And then it went to the next session, and then the next session. And they created the wave, and there was never a wave before. And now they do that in stadiums.
Yes.
One guy who was brave enough or stupid enough or didn't care just went out there and went, everyone do this.
Yeah, well, you're making up he didn't care or that he was stupid. But what we do know is he went out like that, and that was
and asked everybody else to do it.
And that was definitely against the grain of what was normal.
And he kept doing it until it took hold.
Yeah. So one or two others, and then I'm going to give you some examples.
I'm going to call on Judy Bell. Judy, go for it.
Well, I'm just thinking about the list of all the people, all the inventions that people said, oh, that'll never work, the personal computer, the iPhone, all of these things. I mean, I can't think of a particular person because I don't know who invented all those things.
Steve Jobs.
Well, Steve Jobs, yeah, right.
How about the Wright brothers? They laughed at them thinking they could do a flying machine.
Right. That's a long list of those things.
Exactly. So I'm going to, given the time, we could stay with this. I'm going to give you some other examples. So Nelson Mandela in prison. South Africa free? You must be joking. Rosa Parks. Remember her? Back of the bus, front of the bus. You think that didn't make an impact? We're still talking about it after all these years. There's a guy by the name of Gandhi. You may have heard of him. Then there's Boris Yeltsin. I don't know whether any of you know about Boris Yeltsin. Boris Yeltsin in 1989 was sitting on top of a tank in the middle of Red Square, heralded as the largest bloodless revolution in the history of mankind. And who was Boris Yeltsin? He was a drunk from a bar, largely. He had no position, money, or power. But there he was, the point of the Soviet Union coming apart. You have Gorbachev also. Gorbachev, by the way, was the least he had like a 4% popularity rating. But he's brought perestroika, democratization, glasnost. And wow, look to see what happened. Now, here's my question. Of all those people, by the way, here AOC, you know, the young woman who's in Congress, reelected 4 times, the youngest woman ever, the youngest person ever elected to Congress, a Spanish woman coming from a modest background as a waitress. Oh, isn't that interesting? What do you see as common amongst all of these? And of course, the last one I have to say, the Declaration of Independence. A bunch of guys.
Was retiring.
17, I'm sorry, say it again. 1776, a bunch of guys came together and they wrote this thing. And they said, okay, I'm going to actually quote it if I can sign. And I just lost it. So I'm going to, not quite, I haven't actually lost it, but it says, all men are created equal and they have inalienable rights, which include life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Another key thing, it says, we are free and independent states. Is that an assertion or a description? No, it's a declaration. Where did it come from? Language, people's mouth. A declaration of possibility. And the key thing that I want you to see here is followed, paired with action that's mutually empowering. Until recently, I thought, you know, the Declaration of Independence is when we came to the United States. No, the Revolutionary War went on for 5 more years until 1981. You know, slavery existed until 1781. Slavery existed until 1865. All meant, but actions were all consistent with this stand for possibility. I'm looking for one person who has you have an intention, you have a goal, you have a project that you say will make a difference and contribute to the end of the climate crisis. And I just want to work with you a little bit. The whole point is for you to discover your true power that would be willing to do this with me live.
Say something.
I have a project, Gordon.
Who is this?
Tom Brayford.
Yeah, please.
So we've been working since we worked with Peter at the conference to rewrite the source document as a climate document. And Peter went his direction in how he was going to
let me interrupt a little bit.
Climate, and we took a different direction.
He's interrupting.
So
yeah, go ahead.
This is perfect. Do you have this as your project?
Yes.
Okay, great. Perfect. And the outcome of the project is?
The outcome of the project is by 2050, we're at 300 parts per million of carbon in the atmosphere.
I thought you were rewriting, you were writing a source document like the Hunger Project.
We did it. We did it years ago with Peter Fikowski and presented it at the Conference for Global Transformation.
Okay, great. So that's already happened.
Yeah.
And what is your personal, do you have, in 2050, you notice that's a long ways away, yeah?
Especially
Not
for
a
us
lot.
at our age.
I don't know about you. I won't even be alive then. Or if
Yeah.
I am, that'll be a miracle beyond miracles.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what's something that you have that is related to that? So I'm going to use my Russian doll. Okay.
All right. Mm-hmm.
The big Russian doll is our planet thriving. And
Right.
then inside that, we have a Russian doll here that is by 2050, our climate has been restored by certain measures.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, great. So inside this is something else. I want to point to you.
All right.
What are you going to accomplish by when that will contribute to the 2050 outcome?
We're going to by 2030.
No, not we. You personally.
Me.
This is
Right.
about unleashing your
Yeah.
superpower. By every way, everybody gets this, yeah? This is
Yeah.
not, and you're perfect. I love it that we're working together. Thank you very much for doing that.
Thank you.
You personally.
Yes. So by 2030, our islands of coherence, communities of practice are going to be endemic to the St. Louis region and on their way to becoming pandemic in the world.
Excellent. I don't even know what any of that means,
Community.
but I got it.
Yeah.
So here's my next question. With respect to that, so you just defined this one, right?
Yeah.
What are you going to produce? What outcome? What are you accountable? What are you promising to produce by the end of this year? That's specific, a specific, measurable outcome.
We will.
No, we.
Oh, okay, we. Oh, this is great. By the end of this year, I'll have relaunched our project, and it'll be well on the way. It'll be on track to.
Wait. Relaunched. What project? And how would you know you relaunched it? I'm going to come and audit. What will I see that says, oh, they relaunched that project? What will I see specifically?
Well, you'll see that shortly we're going to, I am going to win with a lot of help from Carol, a $2 million housing solution grant that's also a climate solution grant. And
you're going to obtain a $2 million grant by
yes.
December 31st.
Well before that.
Well, then give me the date. By the way, I want everybody to get this. Well before that is bullshit.
Yeah. September 1st.
By September 1st, you are going to be awarded a $2 million grant. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, great. Are your palms sweaty?
Mine are.
They are actually.
Yeah. Are you willing to make that promise to everybody here that that's going to happen?
I, Thomas Arthur Brayford, promised that by September 1st, we will receive a $2 million grant to relaunch our climate project.
Wait,
Fabulous. Fabulous. And your palms are sweaty.
A little bit.
Well, they should be a lot. Will
Yeah,
that require
they're wetter than usual, for sure.
will that require a breakthrough?
Multiple breakthroughs.
Okay, great. That's for this purpose. That's perfect. Now, the last thing is, if it's going to require breakthroughs, you should have somebody that's outside your 9 dots, have what we call a committed listener, somebody who will hold you to account for what you're going to do next week and what you're going to do by August 15th, because September 1st is right around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
To make sure that happens. Do you have somebody to do that? And would they happen to be right next to you?
They would happen to be right next to me.
Okay, fabulous. That's your superpower.
Woo!
Your stand for what's possible. Your promise for action that's solely mutually empowering of that stand, because every action you take and put it out there, out in your mouth, that validates restoring our climate by 2050. It also validates, I, the little individual, can make a difference. I don't think you're I don't think you're a top level corporate executive. I don't think you're worth $100 million. I don't think you're a senator in the United States Congress. Are you any of those?
Not yet.
All right. That's your superpower. And last piece, and this is the most important. I want everybody to get this. So stand for what's possible, a promise for action, and there's one piece missing, which is, what is your stand for you as a leader, as an environmental leader? You are an environmental leader, yeah?
Yes. My stand for me is that I'm recognized in my community as that leader.
Great. And do you have a stand for you for your ability to pull that off by September 1st, in spite of all the odds?
Yes. I'm perfectly comfortable communicating with anybody in the city and do on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's part of the thing. But maybe that doesn't work. Are you a stand for, Supergirl? There she is. Oh, this is not looking good for them. Boom, 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 boom. That's a stand for her. Do you have a stand for you, that you, Superboy, can make that happen by September 1st?
I'm not quite sure I followed the question there.
Yeah. This is there's a stand for the possibility.
Right.
There's an action and a promise, which is
Right.
September 1st.
Yeah.
Do you say that you can make that happen?
Yes, I say I can make that happen.
Great. That's it. Stand possibility, stand for you making it happen, and action, all three together with integrity. That's your superpower. The perfect segue for what's next, which is breaking in. For you to discover yours, we're going to break into groups of 3. And Julia, would you read the questions that we're going to have them? And this time you have 4 minutes, not 2 minutes, 4 minutes each. Yeah. So Julia, read the questions if you would.
what is something that you declare as possible? What outcome will you produce or action you will take, and by when? And then there's a little comment in parenthesis: if your palms aren't sweaty, ratchet it up. And then who will you have support you?
We have 2 screens, but I have a question to ask you. if you ended up with that breakout with your palms sweaty, would you raise your hand? Like this, put up your sweaty palms. Okay, I declare that a watch out. This group is going to kick ass, just like the the founding fathers for the Continental Congress, right? I'd like to hear from some people, and then we'll wrap it up. I'm going to turn it over to Julia in about 6 or 7 minutes. But I'd like to hear what. And here's what I'd like to hear from you. I'd like to hear what I want to find out from you what your superpower is. I'd like you to share your superpower. You know, what have you taken on? Who are you? What's your stand for yourself? What's your stand for the possibility? What action are you going to take? Or any of those that occurs to you. So go.
So Joe and Carol Redfield. If you can unmute, Carol.
Yeah. So so what I promised in the group is I'm going to talk with the environmental science department at St. Mary's University, the environmental scientists, two in particular, whom I know, and make sure they know about the climate Foundation for Climate Restoration and what that is, and scheme with them about this is what I didn't share. Scheme with them about how we can bring that into possibly curriculum or into classes. And then I just had the idea of what if that could be shared with other environmental science departments at universities. So an avenue to really get it out. And I don't know how to do any of that.
Fabulous. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You don't know how to do any of that.
Get to other departments, other schools, excuse me.
I was going to say, right, you just did a brilliant job. You opened your mouth. And by when will you have the conversation?
I'll have a conversation with at St. Mary's University with the environmental scientists by the end of August. We return August 20th, something like that, to school.
Right. So by August 30th? Or
30, yeah.
30, yeah. Great. Beautiful. Love it.
Okay,
Thank
Judy
you.
Bell.
That's
Judy
exciting.
Bell. Judy Bell.
So what I'm promising is to speak with the agricultural commissioner of my county about what we're going to do to convert farmland from conventional to regenerative. And my I want to call it my goal, but what I'm putting the stake in the ground for is at least 10 farms by the end of 2026 will have committed to converting to regenerative.
Fabulous. And what will be the form of their committing?
I'm not absolutely sure, but I would guess that it would mean signing on with, because our county has a plan and it includes that sort of thing, how to improve our agricultural practices. So I'm assuming that the county has some way of approaching that. And I personally am putting together kind of an infographical pamphlet or book of all the steps and all the concerns and all of the reasons and all of that to be able to give to people to help them understand how this process is going to work.
Fabulous. And I would have, as a suggestion, those 6, I think you said 6 by the end of the year. Is that correct?
I said 10.
10 by the end of the year. Include in that having them go public with it. What a difference that will make. That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Got 2 more people here. If you can be brief and concise. Dennis, you first, and then Christina.
Okay. Carol and I are on the same wavelength almost. My idea, my concept is to go to the science teachers at high school, junior high level, starting at the high school where my granddaughter is going, Lola's granddaughter, Sacred Heart. So, we're going in that direction. And what I think will work is to work with people who know how to prepare and create educational packets so that, the curriculum packet. So the teacher, all they have to do is pick up this curriculum packet. They don't have to design anything. They got it. And it's got our message in it. And I'm going to rely heavily on Peter Fikowski for scientific correctness in what's there.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Okay, Christina.
I am already scheduled to give 6 talks to Rotary, etc., 55 and over in August here in Washington State, and the topic is holistic health for animals improves employee productivity and or different titles. Holistic health will make you happier, etc. And I always talk about how holistic health choices help the planet. So my commitment is that out of those 6 talks, I will have 100 people have signed the Climate Restoration Pledge. And many of these groups are like 10 people. So that's
Fabulous.
it for me.
Fabulous. And one last question. Are your palms sweaty?
Oh, yeah.
Fabulous. Love it. Okay. Thank you all very much. I have one last thing to say. Some of you have done, and some of you know about a transformational leadership program called Being a Leader and the Effective Exercise of Leadership. If you've done any of Werner Erhard's work, I consider it the pinnacle of his work. And it's available coming up in August at UCLA virtually by Zoom. And it is extraordinary. And I'm going to have Peter talk about it in a second. Peter and I have done it twice. I've led it 24 times. He and I have done it twice together. And if you want to take what we got today deep and really discover how to unleash your superpower in a way to make a difference beyond your imagination, then you should do this course. You'll get information on the follow-up email, and there's information in the chat right now. Peter, would you say something?
Yeah, Gordon, thank you, everyone. It's great to see everyone here. I did the course in 2011. Gordon was in it up in Canada. And I did it because I could see in 2011 that we needed some sort of leadership around climate, that nothing was happening that was going to restore the climate. And I didn't even have the language restoring the climate at that point. But it was the Being a Leader and the Effective Exercise of Leadership course which got this whole process started 15 years ago. I don't think I need to say a whole lot more than that. I think that tells the whole story.
That tells the whole story. His superpower, and we're here in it. Okay, Julia, you're next.
All right. So I want to make an invitation to everybody here. The Foundation for Climate Restoration, those of you who are part of the membership and motivation group, have all signed our pledge. And it is an opportunity for you to express your commitment. So we're going to put it in the chat, the pledge, and we're going to put it, we're going to screen share so you can click. I mean, it's going to have a, what do you call it? Say it, screen.
QR code.
Yes, QR code. And here I would like to read it. Bob, are we going to pull it up so people can read it? And here's what I'm suggesting for those of us who have already signed the pledge. You've heard about people renewing their vows in marriage and the power of that. I invite everyone who's already signed the pledge to sign it here tonight. and to sign it at where you are now and your commitment now, and refresh the stand you're taking. And I'm going to read it to you. We stand at an unprecedented moment. We have the opportunity to restore the climate, bringing CO2 levels below 300 parts per million by mid-century will end the climate crisis. And the next line, our voices matter. I am committed that the goal to restore the climate gets adopted as the goal for all climate action by 2030. My voice matters. I promise to take action. 2, here's the choices: to enroll others to sign the pledge, to spread the word on social media that we can and are restoring the climate, to donate a certain amount of money to the Foundation for Climate Restoration, and my favorite one, to invent my own forms of participation. And then you get to sign your name and date it and put your email like that. Do we have it here in the chat? Great. And do we have the QR code for those of you who want to take a shot of it? Bob?
I don't have that.
Okay. So it's in the chat, right, Bob? Is it?
Yeah, Mark put the link into the chat.
Yes,
So-
it's there.
Foundation for Climate Restoration, sign the pledge.
I invite you all, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to pull it up and sign it or re-sign it. And here's the other thing, it won't screw up the count. We have 57 and more pledge signatures already, but your name won't be added a second time. It'll figure out, the algorithm will figure out that you already signed it. This is for your benefit to refresh your stand. There we go. There's the, if you want to do it that way, you can click on the, do your camera on the QR code.
Julie, it's 57,000. I think you forgot the thousand.
Did I not say 57,000?
I thought you said 57. No.
57,000 people globally have signed the pledge, and we're committed to it being 1 million. So I love it that our last share was Christina Chambreau. It is such a wonderful thing to invite people to. There isn't anybody I've run into who didn't want to sign the pledge. And I particularly like, well, it says our voices matter. I love that. And, you know, I have to take it into me. My voice matters.
It's almost 58,000, Julia.
Thank you, Philip. So for those of you who haven't been around for a long time, Peter and I started the next conversation, which was for the flourishing of humanity for millennia to come. One of the things we started bumping into was, if we restore the climate, we still are tribal. We would destroy the climate we restored. And we saw that there has to be a shift from being ourself over here, identified as me and you, or me and my groups, the people I like, the people who think my way. And the shift is to, I am humanity. You are humanity. We are humanity.
We have a quote of the week, which I actually took from the Humanity Day flyer, just because it touched me and it's applied so much to what we're doing here. And it's very brief. It's very concise. Humanity flourishes through relationship.
So thank you, all of you. And Gordon, thank you for this 3-session series.
Yes.
I say that we're on a whole new footing commitment to our own growth and development to take stands and get into action out of the work you've done with us.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you. It's
Yeah.
been my privilege to be part of this group and to do this. So thank you for that opportunity.